Dear everyone who watched the Kimi Räikkönen in a nutshell video but still took it seriously. Kimi Räikkönen is shit. Welcome to a very special edition of F1 in a nutshell.
Talking about shit in Formula 1 that nobody likes, it's in a nutshell!
Let's be honest here, I'm only making this because I like getting YouTube views efficiently and quickly, so every comment I get about being an attention seeker will be completely justified, because I'm going to be talking about Spain's baby mama, and arguably the person that got me into F1 in the first place. You guessed it, it's Fernando goddamn Alonso, the man who ages like a fine wine. Let's fucking do it. Fernando started go-karting at the age of 3 after his parents bought him a dinky little McLaren kart for his birthday. He won 3 karting championships in a row from 1994 to 1997 and became the karting world champion in 1996. Legend. 2001, he managed to get a seat for Minardi and started his depressing, disappointing and overall not worth the trek world of Formula 1, where he finished 23rd by getting a brilliantly impeccable 0 points. The thirst levels are on a different level.
The thirst levels are on a different level. Yeah, that'll do. Fuck it.
In 2002, he was a test driver for Renault, which is pretty much everything I could say about this year, which says a lot about the journalistic integrity of this series. In 2003, he was back in Formula 1 in a semi-competitive car, getting 4 podiums and winning the 2003 Hungarian Grand Prix, which is a race I've actually reviewed, but you know, FOM and all that. 2004 was a bit meh for Renault. Despite getting 4th in the championship, he didn't win any races, while Jarno Trulli managed to get a win in Monaco of all places. But Renault was even more competitive than last year, which gave them even more confidence for 2005. In that year, Renault had an incredibly competitive car, giving Fernando Alonso the 2005 title, beating who else but the worst driver on the grid, Kimi Räikkönen. Yeah, I'm not letting that one go. He is the worst, and he will still be the worst. 2006 was another good year, with the second place driver actually standing a chance against the Renault of Fernando Alonso. Until Japan 2006, which I'm not salty at all in the slightest. Fernando went on to win a second championship and end a very exciting era of Formula 1. 2007 I'm not going to tell you about because I'm in the process of reviewing the entire 2007 season and you should watch that instead. Link is in the description. 2008 was a weird year. Not because of the obvious candidates like the final battle in Brazil, but Alonso did have his share of controversy by quote-unquote winning the Singapore Grand Prix when his teammate Nelson Piquet Jr. purposely crashed to help him win. Silly old Flavio. 2009 was shit. At least in Fernando standards, anyway. He got a high finish of 3rd in Singapore, ironically, and that was about the high point. I mean, for goodness sake, Renault had Grosjean for a few races that year. 2010, he joined Ferrari, in the hopes that he could clutch a 3rd world championship and do it for the prancing horse. He didn't. 2011, he didn't. 2012, he didn't. 2013, he didn't, and 2014 he did not. So he left Ferrari in a big old huff and a puff and joined McLaren instead, hoping to be the next Ayrton Senna or something. Spoilers, he wasn't. And not because he wasn't capable, but his car was the literal embodiment of a black box that spontaneously combusted at any point. 2017 is the same kind of deal, but instead of doing the Monaco Grand Prix this year, he's participating in the Indianapolis 500. And you have no idea how ironic it would be if he had an engine problem during the race. Oh, how unfortunate that would be. Oh, how really unfortunate that would be. Oh, how unfortunate that would be. Oh, how unfortunate that would be. Ah! That's about it for Fernando. Join us next time where we just won't talk about motorsports. See you then!